We are. Say, I am divine. Say it loud. Say it proud. I am divine. There you go. We're going to go ahead and stand up and sing a song. It's a very flowy song. And it's called Oneness. Get the words up there. Very beautiful song. Short and sweet, but we're going to do it 4 times through just because it's so lovely. Here it is. There's this whole song, right?
I just can't see her.
Ready?
From this side.
There's a presence moving softly in the quiet of my being, calling softly all the time. One heart, one mind, one life, united and divine. There's a presence moving softly in the quiet of my being, calling softly all the time. One heart, one mind, one life, united and divine. There's a presence moving softly in the quiet of my being, calling softly all the time. One heart, one mind, one life, united and divine. We're gonna sing it one more time through. There's a presence moving softly in the quiet of my being, calling softly all the time. One heart, one mind, one life, united and divine. One heart, one mind, one life, united and
Well, I would also like to say at this time, we have prayer chaplains that are available. If I myself would run, there's usually more here. Susan? And Susan, would you please stand, Susan?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Good.
Yeah, any else prayer chaplain?
David?
And of course our
David.
And yes, and David, we are available for any of you who would like to have us pray with you. Just wanted you to know that. All right. And now Grace Turner will read the daily word.
The daily word for today is my story. I am divinely inspired to create and live a full, abundant life. I am the author of my story. No matter what happens, I choose the meaning I give to events in my life. I see myself through divine perception as a spiritual victim and overcomer, and not as a victim of life circumstances. Inspired by spirit, I discover deeper understanding and new gifts in myself as I move through challenges. No part of my story limits the adventures of this life. There are no mistakes or wounds of the past that keep me from living fully now. I forgive myself and others the errors that occur when we fall short of being our best self. We are all doing the best we can in this moment. I am free to love, and to fully live the abundant life I am divinely inspired to create. In the scriptures from John 10:10, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly.
Thank you very much, Grace. Let us prepare ourselves. Empty our laps, still our minds, and let us say together our blessed Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Keep moving deeper into that center of your being where all is stillness. Taking some deep breaths, continuing to allow your mind to slow down. Just letting go. Letting go. Here now in this moment, we've chosen to be here. We have let go of all that brought us and all that will come afterwards. As we continue to slow our mind, as we create that space, the space for that awareness of the divine that is the truth of who we are. Allow those words, I am one. I am one. I am one with all that is. I am one with all that I know and understand. And I am one with all that I can't even imagine. I am so expansive. I am all the creative power in the universe. Ooh, breathe into that. I am this divine creative power. I am a point of that expression here in this physical world. As I hold this awareness, I move deeper and deeper into that silence, into the allness, in the silence. And gently, just gently bring yourself a little bit closer to the surface. Holding that awareness. Allowing challenges. Just allow them to surface. Allowing concerns, personal, people, situations, just allowing them to surface into this awareness of divine power and energy. Letting go of any concept of what needs to be done. Just allowing. And allow those words once again to be, I am creating energy. And all that is here, I have access to all the resources because I am resource. I am intelligence. I am that creative power of divine love. And we say, thank you, Spirit, that in this place together, that awareness, our understanding of our humanness, this power is multiplied simply because we are here together in a place of power. And we accept. And we say, thank you, and so it is. Amen. Place of power. Think about that when you walk in here. There are people who walk in here, there are workmen that walk in here and go, what's here? Something is here. Something is here. This is us here. This is all the people that have ever been here in this place. This building has been a place of prayer since it was built back in the late 50s or early 60s. Think of the power. And then think about this land that has been here from the time of creation, all of that divine energy. We get here. And in this place, we come here to experience that. And it's not that this place is so much more special than any other place, but because we open our awareness when we come here, we have that experience to be here. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing our minds. That's why we are here. So I'm going to ask you a question. So when I was beginning to think about this talk, I was, thinking about a title, and I thought about the question, are you happy? And then I thought, I'm going to call it something else. I'm going to call it the pursuit of happiness. But I'm asking you that question right now. Are you happy? In this now moment, I want you to just take a now moment and think. Ask yourself that question. Am I happy? Am I happy right now?
Yes.
And if the answer is yes, I heard a yes there, you say, and what is it? What is it? Was I happy this morning? No. Was I happy yesterday? And if the answer is no, what is it? What is going on in this now moment? What needs to be transformed? So throughout history, so clear back 2500 BC, Confucius was out there roaming around the Chinese countryside, going from town to town, talking to people, giving them ideas, things that would help them live a more contented, fulfilled life. 2,500 years ago, 500 years before Christ. about 100 years later, Plato and then his student Aristotle and the other side of the earth were doing exactly the same thing. Well, they weren't going from downtown. They were having the towns come to them. So their students were coming to them. And they were examining, what does it mean to have a fulfilling life? What is that all about? You know, that's 2,400 years ago. So what is going on in the world? So in the USA today, the rates of depression are 10 times higher than they were in 1960. The rates of depression. The average onset of depression back in the 60s was about 29. That's kind of scary just in that thought. Today, the average onset age is 14. 14. Now what's going on? What is happening? So the preamble to our Constitution contains these words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know, from going to school, you know, early ages, Americans have been imbued with this idea that we have the right to pursue happiness. So what does pursue mean? It means to chase, to hunt, search for, go on a quest, track down. All of these words. Happiness is something out there. You've got to go out there and track it down. You have to grab it. You have to hold on to it. And what's been happening? What's been happening? So when we look at happiness, what does happiness mean to you? What does happiness mean to me? And how do we recognize it when we get it? So everybody's got a handout, and in that handout is a whole list of words. And you've got the handout, so I'm not going to go through the list of words. But to realize that these are all feelings that come from within. You know, if I'm in a place of contentment and cheerfulness, I can't go out there and let me go out there and grab a little contentment, Barry. Let me go out there and grab a little bit of cheerfulness, Amy. No, it's from within. And yet, in our cultural psyche, we're looking out there, we're reaching out there. We have to pursue this. So I began this whole process on Wednesday. And I started to observe myself. So you're going to get a little bit of a tale of how my week went. So what was going on? Was I happy? I started the morning working pretty hard. Then, about noon, I left what I was doing and I went down to the heated swimming pool. You know, and I was stiff, and I walked into that warm water and I was blissful. And let me tell you, it was even more blissful because exactly the week before on Wednesday, so I'm walking in expecting to be blissful as I walk in the water, and so I'm seeing some of my regular friends are out there, and they said, "It's cold, Carol." So they had turned off the heat and they were getting ready. There was a big swim meet on the weekend, and so the pool was now the same temperature as the big pools, 82 degrees. So, you know, walking in very gradually and getting used to it and, you know, all of that. So when I went this Wednesday, and it was the warm, it was absolutely amazing. So then afterwards, and I was kind of careful that I didn't overdo it while I was there at the pool, because I knew I was having to go to the library bookstore, and it was my day to be sorting books. And that's usually a lot of work. So I got to the library, went into the bookstore. It's about 2 o'clock, so we'd been open a couple hours. And I I went and opened the closet where there's 2 carts, and quite often those carts are stacked high, triple stacked on 3 shelves. There were 3, count them, 3 books laying there on the shelf. I picked them up, went and put them away, and I was pleased. I was very, very pleased. Now, why wasn't I ecstatic? Well, because this was only 2 o'clock and we're open until 6 o'clock. So I said, you know, I will call back, you know, in a few hours and see, because I had the Wednesday night class, and I thought, okay, I can go down there and I can work for a couple hours before I go to class. So at 4 o'clock, I called down there, and what does the sorting look like? I opened the closet and said, there's only a couple of shelves here. We don't need you. Oh. Now I become ecstatic. I don't have to do that. And now I'm contemplating the fact that I'm coming to lead the group. And one of the things that's really been special for the last several classes is we have somebody, Jeanette Gallagher, who is a 2nd generation Unity student. And Jeanette's in her 80s. She was raised in Unity. Her mom was Unity. And so having somebody come from that perspective, whatever we're talking about, she comes from that deep experience of Unity understanding, because she never had, she says, I never knew anything else, you know. And you know, it's like walking into that warm bathwater swimming pool, just, you know, and so I'm going, oh, yeah, I'm back to being blissful in that process. So Thursday was a slightly different story. I worked hard, really hard. I did some scrubbing, which I disliked. I stood for hours, which was painful. When I quit, I was exhausted, and I was very deeply satisfied. Now think about that. Now hopefully, as I'm pointing out these words here, because I'm paying attention to what is going on and identifying that experience of happiness, using this wide variety of words in there, paying attention to that. So another experience that happened on Thursday, so as I'm going into my friend's new apartment, when you walk in the door, there is this big window across the room, and when you walk in, you know, it's like this painting of mountains, you know, and underneath there's trees. It's just absolutely fantastic, you know. So again, standing there and taking that deep breath, and you know, in this moment, just seeing something, realizing what it feels like to see something like that, and then to make it better. So the guys that were helping with the movie, so these are all young guys. The youngest, I would say he was 18 because he just graduated from high school in May. Football player, big burly guy, getting ready to go to college. I'm going to take business and religion. Oh, I said, well, if you ever intend to be a minister, that business is really And the older guys probably were no more than their mid to late 20s. The same reaction. They walked in, they walked right straight to that window, and they were just totally immersed. So that experience of knowing, here, look at the age gap between somebody in their 20s and somebody in my end of the spectrum. They were having the same experience that I did. And sometimes we think this age gap sometimes is not, you know, we can't bridge it. And yet there in that moment, we were having the same experience. You know, and it just, I went, yeah. I don't even have words to put with that kind of feeling. So we begin to be aware of all of these possibilities for having these experiences of happiness, sometimes in the moment, and sometimes you look back on it. So Friday was a little bit different story. So there's a lot of things that I needed to do, including putting some time back into the bookstore. So this doing my regular work down there. And while I was there, here's this little book, bright yellow, and it says, Happiness. So I put it aside to take home with me and got some good information to use. You know, so think about, what's that feel like? Oh, here, I got something. So again, that's deeply satisfied feeling on there. You know, or in that case, gratified, grateful. Think about that word, gratified, grateful. So when you look at these words in that handout, so this is a very mundane description of my week. You know, I want you to be thinking about it, not because my week was anything exceptional, except that I was paying attention to this idea of happiness. So our Wednesday night class is called Spiritual Vigilance. And her point is to be vigilant, to be paying attention, to be thinking about your words, to be paying attention to your experiences. And so I was being vigilant for happiness. Because, you know, if I hadn't done that, I'd have gone through the week, and if somebody said, Carol, how was your week? I'd have said, oh God, you should have heard me on Thursday. Oh no. My focus would have been on that which in the moment got my attention. But now, you know, when I look back on my week and I think about all these things that I have told you, and I go, wow, what's different? The difference is how I chose to pay attention. What did I choose to perceive in this process? So here's a nice quote. Happiness also is not simply what we are doing or where we are. It is what we choose to perceive. What do I choose to perceive? And also realizing that in the moment, and I'm standing there, you know, I'm doing stuff I don't like and I'm hurting, and there were other people there that, you know, heard me grousing, and, you know, somebody said, Carol, are you happy? I've gone, you gotta be joking. And yet, it is that process. How many times we go through things that need to be done, and when we come out on the other side, we go, oh. You know, so happiness is sometimes in the moment, like looking out at that view, and other times it's looking back on what we were able to accomplish. You know, it might have taken a lot of struggle, whether it's I'm doing something at work, it's a project, and I get all wrapped up in it, and I'm going, oh, isn't this ever going to be over with? And when it is, you look back and go, wow, that confidence that I have the ability to do these kinds of things. So we begin to see that this idea of happiness is totally coming from within, how we choose to perceive things. So there's a couple of, I'm looking at this perception. So there is a story that I heard. I think of the person as an acquaintance, so I don't think I ever met him, who has a cleaning business up in Montreal, cleaning offices. And he teaches all of his employees that what they are doing is a spiritual process. That when they go into an office, when they're dusting, you know, they're dusting away all of that negative energy that may have accumulated during the day, as they're doing the trash, you know, just kind of the things. This is what happens during the day. We're cleaning it up. We're preparing it. We are creating peace in this space. So when the people walk back in for the next work day, we have created this energy. Now, can you think about that? If you're that person who's doing the cleaning, and instead of going, oh, I have to dust one more shelf, I'm going to what? I am creating spiritual energy behind me. And a sort of similar thing happened, and I've told this story before, so I apologize to those of you that have heard it, except it's very worthwhile. So Joanna Hayes, who was the music person down at Gulf Breeze, we were doing a prosperity class, and in that class, one of the things we had to do was to choose some things of service. That was part of the whole prosperity experience. And Joanna decided that she was going to clean the church bathrooms. And she chose that because she hated cleaning bathrooms. Joanna, I am your spiritual sister. However, after 2 or 3 weeks, as we're gathering for our class and talking about our experiences, she said, you know what? This is really interesting. She said, I'm not quite sure when it came about, but, she would get down on her knees to clean the floor. She says, when I'm down there on my knees cleaning the floor, I am cleaning my soul. I am cleaning all of the gunk that has accumulated. So this job that she chose, simply because she didn't like it and, it's going to be good for her soul to do it, was good for her soul. She created a spiritual experience out of doing it. Shifted her perception in doing that. So I want us to think about that. How can we begin to shift our perceptions? And Ralph Waldo Emerson made this statement: some pursue happiness, I'm out there, and some create it. Are you a pursuer or are you a creator? Another person said, happiness is not the absence of problems, but the ability to deal with them. So you think about how, all of this stuff was coming up, and guess what? I was able to do it. And now all of that confidence, all of those other strings of happiness. Anonymous, Anonymous does wonderful things. And Anonymous said, happiness or unhappiness is often a matter of choice. Do I choose to be happy, or am I choosing to be not happy? And from Rumi, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving through you. Does that just kind of, when you're doing it from your soul, you feel that. So in conclusion, and this was really interesting as I was listening to the Daily Word, because I did not read the Daily Word when I was putting this together. So our master teacher says, I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. And now this, which is a little bit more food for thought, and I had this next one, I had to pay a lot of attention. It took me several years. For whoever has, to him more will be given. And whoever does not have, even that which he, she seems to have, will be taken from him. Now, can you see how that relates to our process of happiness? Am I a creator? Do I bring happiness from within me? Do I pay attention and do I notice when I am happy? And when I do that, more happiness comes to me. When I get in the habit of doing that, it doesn't matter what else is going on in my life, in my world, my overall perception is, and I might not call it happy, I might call it contented, I might call it satisfied. I'm going, yes, life is good. And if I'm the kind of person who doesn't notice or chooses to see things in a different way, even that happiness which seems totally obvious to everybody else gets taken away because I'm not paying attention. So that abundant life, I came that they may have life and have it more abundantly. Pay attention. Be vigilant. And you will have that opportunity to be really, really happy.
Thank you, Carol. Good message, always. We're going to go ahead and stand up and sing a song to affirm Affirmation Rock. I am a powerful, creative, spiritual being.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And then we we are. Ready? Okay. I am a powerful, creative, spiritual being. Sing it again. I am a powerful, creative, spiritual being. Next line, sing twice as well. I can create anything I want this life.